Good morning, everyone. So good to be with you today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo. It is so good to be with you this morning. My name is Joan Montagnes, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving you, this congregation, as minister. I want to give you a little note about Zoom since here we are in a Zoom worship service. We can't hear or see you. You can't hear or see each other. You can hear and see our worship associates, Eve Holberg and Bobby Withrow, and you can hear and see me. You can also chat with each other all the way through the service. We now offer closed captioning. If those captions would help you participate, they should be appearing at the bottom of your screen. You can turn them off if you find them distracting using the CC button, and you can increase the font if that would help you with the closed captioning. I want to offer a big shout out, a huge vote of thanks to Josh Disick, John Petroselli, Justin DeClean, who is our tech today, Karen Streech, who creates all our visuals, Tracy Kassman, who's doing the play-by-play today, and all our music staff, including Alex Huddleston today, who helped create our worship experiences every single week. Wonderful, wonderful folks. We could not do them without, or do it without them. It takes a cast of thousands. I have a bunch of announcements here today from the Justice team. They want to let you know that this afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. in the garden entrance, you can sign a petition for the Buffalo Common Council to create a police advisory board and a commission on community police oversight. In other words, you can sign a petition to create city government structures that would make the police accountable to the people. Every signee must be registered to vote in Buffalo and a Buffalo resident. Another opportunity you have is next Saturday morning, there's going to be a Zoom conference entitled Challenging Conversations. It's going to be aimed at encouraging white allies of diverse faith communities to become engaged ambassadors of racial and economic justice. For more information on that, check out the e-blast. I want to invite you to the UUA's Jubilee training. It's a time for learning together about systemic racism. I'm going. I'd love it if you joined me. We can deepen our understanding of how race and ethnicity play out in our institutions and in our lives. It can help us understand how to nurture a multicultural future. And I really encourage you to join me and UUs from across the denomination for this life-changing weekend. I'm hoping that Tracy's going to put the link in the chat there so you can have a look at that. You can also talk to me or Martha Malkowitz or Tracy Kassman or Liz Park, who have all been through the training and thought it was awesome. And there is a registration fee, but don't let that be an obstacle. If it is an obstacle for you, please let me know. I want to remind you that every Friday night we hold Vesper services. We've had some lovely Vesper services outside the garden entrance every Friday night at 7 p.m. These are in-person, short services, safe distances. Come for community, music, candlelight, poetry, and meditation. This week, our music is going to be our in-house string band with Helen Lowry singing. It's going to be wonderful. And finally, I want to make the announcement I make every week about Zoom fellowship time, a meeting after this service in which you can see and hear each other and talk about whatever's on your mind, see old friends, meet new friends. The meeting address for that is in the chat, in the e-blast, in the newsletter, and on the last slide of this worship service. So as soon as this is done, take a minute, get a cup of coffee, and come to fellowship time. And that is enough announcing. Let's take a breath and join in worship.
Our reading this morning is On the Brink by Leslie Takahashi. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create: a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share.
Each Sunday, Unitarian Universalists across the world join together in a spirit of worship and light a chalice, the symbol of our free faith. Join me in speaking the words of our chalice lighting as we light a chalice or candle, virtual or otherwise. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves to create a more just and compassionate world. And now let us sing hymn 1009, Meditation on Breathing.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
Once upon a time, there was a very curious cow named Tina. She had a thirst for discovery. Her mind was full of wonderful imaginations, all of which her sisters found very silly. Well, one night over dinner, as Tina began talking of rocket ships that could go to the moon, her sisters replied, "Impossible, ridiculous, nonsense." Her sisters were only interested in one thing: sweet, fresh, juicy, delicious grass. Well, one day, when Tina was exploring the woods, she decided to try something new, something no cow had ever done before. She began to climb a tree. Up and up and up she went. And at the top, Tina couldn't believe her eyes. There was a dragon, green, with a long tail and wings. Unlike the dragon she had seen in books, this one was friendly and a vegetarian. All afternoon, they talked about wonderful dreams and incredible stories. The dragon told Tina about how her mother could breathe fire. Wow. Tina told the dragon how she'd always wanted to fly. Well, that night, Tina couldn't wait to tell her sisters about her new friend. But at dinner time, Her sisters were not impressed. Dragons don't exist. Cows can't climb trees. Impossible. Ridiculous. Nonsense. And they all went to bed. The next morning, Tina was nowhere to be seen. Her sisters found a note. Gone flying with the dragon of the woods. Love, Tina. Well, that was it. Tina's nonsense had gone too far. The sisters decided to find her and bring her home. For the first time, they ventured beyond the farmyard and into the woods. They never imagined it would be so beautiful. They saw a tree with a note and an arrow pointing up. Flying lessons this way. The sisters shrugged their shoulders and began to climb the tree. Up and up and up, one after another they went. The world above the fields was extraordinary. But where was Tina? Suddenly the cows looked up. There were dozens of green, long-tailed dragons sailing gently through the air over the countryside. And on the back of each of the dragons was an animal. A rabbit, a pig, a penguin, a mouse. And there was Tina, too, flying around on the back of a real live dragon. Impossible. Ridiculous. Nonsense. But it was true. Tina was flying. And when she asked her sisters to join her, they said something they've never said before. Yes, why not? And after that, they couldn't wait to see what else was possible together. Maybe they'd be the first cows to fly to the moon.
Every week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a deserving social justice cause outside of our church walls. This month, we are supporting the good work of Retree of Western New York. Retree has planted over 30,000 trees in our community so far and continues to beautify our urban landscape and bring health to our environment. You can use PayPal by going to our website, www.buffalouu.org, and clicking on the blue donate button. Or you can send a check by mail to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo at 695 Elmwood Avenue, Buffalo, New York, 14222. You can also arrange a regular automatic deposit with your bank. If yours is a gift to our Share the Plate ministry, please write share on the memo line, and it will be shared between Retree of Western New York and the church operating budget. If yours is a welcome gift to our congregation, please write Pledge 2021 on the memo line. Either way, please write UUCB on the important line, and we will do the bookkeeping. Your generosity helps our whole community become the world of which we all dream.
caresse en soi-même par son propre reflet éclairé. Ainsi tu inventes trêve, dynasties exaucées.
This morning's reading is Litany on Becoming by N. Fleshed. To become is a lifelong process. Nothing is constant, not even the self. We evolve in the midst of narratives meant only for some and ways of being made narrow by fear and power. We must then have the courage to listen to the truth of our own lives, to the wisdom that comes from within, responding without resistance or need to control, but with welcome and curiosity. This is what ensures our becoming is an unfolding of our truest self. This lifelong labor cannot be carried out alone. It requires help from friends and lovers, family, and creaturely companions who bear witness to what makes us come alive and say to us, listen, look, feel, pay attention to that. This is loving and being loved.
Telling the stories, sharing in the memories, giving thanks for the relationships, understandings, and experiences past that have shaped us to this day. This is loving and being loved.
Celebrating new beginnings that excite, holding risks together, leaning into unknowns with the promises of support and companionship. This is loving and being loved.
Listening to the future calling uniquely to each of us in the midst of all of life's noise, helping one another find our place in the shared labor of collective life, supporting each other in what it is the world's ache is asking from us. This is loving and being loved.
To say for the first time, this is who I am. This is the truth of my body. This is what I know about myself. This is my name, and this is where my path is leading me. And to have it heard, have it received, have it affirmed, and then to say it again and again as we change and as the world changes, and to have each proclamation greeted with an open-armed embrace. This is loving and being loved.
There is no me without you. We shape one another. The sacred that birthed us weaves our lives together so that we can only find ourselves through shared becoming. For my journey in all its winding ways, for yours, for all the saints who labor for what is, all the kin whose lives made ours possible, for all those yet to come for whom living our truths today will mean breaking possibilities open for them tomorrow. We pause. We give thanks. We acknowledge this is loving and being loved.
Let's join our hearts and minds in a quiet moment of prayer, reflection, and meditation. Let's share a blessing for ourselves. Losers, risk takers, all failures. We fall in the mud or jump for joy only to find in our exuberance we've ripped our pants or knocked over a vase or shattered a heart. We skin our elbows and bruise our egos and lose hard-won trust. As we grow and find ourselves in the world, we make giant mistakes. Our intentions are almost always good, but real damage is done. Let's open our hearts to those who know the heat of regret and work toward healing the wounds. May we dust ourselves off, wash up, return to the sites of failure. And may we remain dogged in our pursuit of the beloved community. Let us feel beyond the surface, listen to other truths, choose to grow in delight and in compassion. Slow down, help a fellow traveler. May we wildly, boldly abandon the battle for personal victories and grow our hearts so they become part of the larger whole. Today, we especially hold in our hearts Donata Ahern, who is in recovery after a fall. And now let us open our worship space to the names of all our loved ones, suffering in sorrow and celebrating in joy. Each name a breath, each breath a prayer. The breath of nature is upon us. The spirit of life is within us. The community of love is among us. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen. Once upon a time, I went to a workshop where each participant was supposed to find a partner, someone we didn't know. And then we were supposed to tell each other small stories from our lives. The facilitator prompted us with questions. First question: if you were a food today, what food would you be? My partner and I, well, we nervously and with good humor exchanged answers. The second question the facilitator gave us: describe a time when you were totally happy with where you were, what you were doing, and who you were with. My partner and I told each other warm stories of summer camp and baseball fields. The third question came along. Tell your partner of a time when you were disrespected because of something about your identity. Ruh-roh. My partner and I remained silent for a moment and stared uncomfortably at our shoes. Then, filling the empty space, as I am wont to do, I piped up with a story of being excluded from a conversation because I was a female minister. Then it was my partner's turn. And she said, I can't think of a single time when I was disrespected because of my identity. Let's pause here. I don't know how my partner identified because I didn't ask her. It was not one of the prescribed questions of the workshop to name and claim our cultural identities. But she appeared to me to be an elderly African American woman. And it seemed to me that once or twice in her life, living in our white supremacist culture, it seemed to me she might have been disrespected. It could have happened. Let's pause here. Just by showing up at this workshop, all of us in the room were taking risks together. We were agreeing to learn together, to make mistakes together, to build bridges in cultural diversity together, or at least that's how I thought it was all going down. So I says to my partner, says I, oh, come on, there must have been times when you felt disrespected by somebody. Nope, she replied, can't think of a single instance. Fortunately, that was the moment I thought to stop talking. But I'll tell you, I was deeply disappointed. I thought I was going to get this rich, juicy story of Black experience in America. It wasn't until later that I figured out that I had been the source of a whole new moment of disrespect. This woman didn't know me. Why would she be telling me painful stories of her life that I might not understand? And what if my response to her brave gift of truth was met with another layer of hurt? What if I had said, oh, I'm sure you misinterpreted what happened? Or, oh, yeah, that sounds bad, but listen to what happened to me. Or, oh, I have a Black friend, and that's never happened to him. It was all too much, too fast. My partner and I had not yet built a trusting relationship. We were being asked to take risks together and grow together way too soon. Building a bridge between human lives takes time. Our task of becoming, of growing into authentic wholeness, can't be carried out alone. It's a task we do together. But it can't be done quickly either. There's no freeze dried instant enlightenment possible here. We learn the stories of each other's lives gradually, over time. Becoming slowly and in fits and starts, becoming requires help from friends and lovers, family and creaturely companions who bear witness to what makes us come alive. All the joy, the pain, the grief, the anger, all our partners in life remind us to look, listen, feel. They remind us to pay attention to what is going on in our lives. Our companions are together with us in the journey, celebrating new beginnings together, holding risks together, leaning into the brink of the unknown together. All of us are part of a growing whole, each of us in turn, failing, hurting, transforming, and forgiving. This lifelong labor of becoming takes beloved companions time and commitment. It takes time to develop trust, to risk, to dare. We need our loving community so each of us can have that precious moment to say out loud and before witnesses, this is who I am. This is the truth of my body. This is what I know about myself. This is my true name and where my path is leading me. We need community to have our truths heard, to have our truths received, to have your truth affirmed. And then we need our community to witness your truth again and again and again as you change and grow and as the world of which you're a part also changes and grows. We are intimately connected here on this planet and in ways we will never understand. There is no me without you. We shape one another. The sacred birthed us, weaving our lives together so that we can only find ourselves through shared becoming. This becoming together is what it means to love and be loved. This is growing into the larger whole. Our lifelong labor of becoming takes time. It takes beloved companions and commitment. It takes time to develop trust, to risk, to dare. Scary? Yes. Uncomfortable? Yes. Sometimes unpleasant? Sure. But what lies beyond this here and now, this broken and imperfect world, is worth it. I beg of you, do not stop here. Leave the cow patty comfort of the farm. Venture into the woods where you've never been before. Climb a tree. Meet your dragons. And in time, you will fly, and the world will fly with you. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been in the past waits with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create for the future. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, and a more profound joy in the life we share. May we have a thirst for exploration and wonderful imaginations. May we tell each other our stories and our dreams, ready to discover what else is possible together. Let's join in singing, filled with loving kindness.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Please join me in our words for extinguishing our chalice. As we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love.
Go in peace, deeply regard one another, truly listen to each other. Speak what each of you must speak. Be ready at any moment to disarm your own heart and always live as if the realm of love has begun. Remember, you are blessed. Remember, you are a blessing. And above all else, remember, you are not alone. You are never alone. So be it. Blessed be. And let the church say, Amen.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust, the sons of bright visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time, daughters of dust and the sons of grace.